Awesome. Well, we're not at Mars next. We're actually Vegas now, live at Health. And I'm super excited with our amazing hosts, people. We're here. We got Chris, a venture capitalist. That's a big word. So glad you're here. We got Alyssa. We got Suzy. Please introduce yourself real quick.
Sure.
Chris.
Yeah. Michael, thanks for having me on this podcast. So I'm a venture capitalist. We do early stage investments across life sciences. That includes biotech, medtech. We're starting to look more deeply into health tech. So we've made a few investments in tools, services, but we understand this is an area that's growing fast. Mm-hmm. And so we want to really be on the cutting edge of seeing these technologies and how they're going to transform healthcare. So yeah, excited to be here.
This is awesome. So we're talking a little bit about the needle, and I see you almost like here and seeing what is going on. Like, what are you seeing? We would love to see as an investor, like this is a great place.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to come here for the first time, I've heard much about the health conference and how everything in health tech is going on here. And so kind of wanted to see for myself, what are the companies that are breaking out? Who are they targeting as customers? Right? What are the companies that are gaining momentum? So basically, my first impression is there's a lot going on in this space. I met with a friend who's been coming here for years yesterday, and she said, Chris, 50% of these may not be here next year.
Wow.
So what that tells me is everybody's kind of at the trough trying to figure out how to pick me, right?
Wow.
And that many of them, there's going to be some winners, but there's going to be those who run out of money, can't get financed, might have a good idea, but that's not enough in this space. So you got to get adoption. You have to have healthcare systems that are willing to see you as a solution to their problem. And so I think as early investors, we have to be very discerning and very particular about what we think is going to break out and what is truly differentiating technology. Cool.
And it's not just the idea either, right? You're really looking at the founders and their capabilities as well. Like, are they capable of sticking with this and leading that charge and becoming successful? Are there other elements that you look for in a company?
Yeah, you hit on it exactly. I think really penetrating the vast heterogeneous healthcare system is one of the biggest challenges, right? There's not a lot of harmonization. There's been a lot of decentralization. So the idea is, do you have a team that has the network, that has proven it in the past, that they know who those customers are, that they have relationships, they know what are the problems they're trying to solve. And if you can deliver that with your company, service, tool, whatever it is, then you're going to have a better chance to penetrate that. And of course, we have to be convinced as investors, convince us that you're differentiated. And so, we definitely look at the team, their network, and their history of success.
Love it.
So Chris, you're an investor. Tell me a little bit about your thesis, kind of your firm, how you guys are different too. I'd love to know.
Yeah, well, I'm part of Perceptive Advisors. That's a 25-year-old firm that's been doing biotech investing for that much time. They're specialty investors. They've expanded their investment vehicles over the years to credit funds, venture funds that I run. Currently, they have another structured finance group. So they are very deep in biotech. They have some people who focused on health tech and med tech. And we're trying on the venture side to get smarter about that. So, we have seen the investment pool grow in this area. So we don't want to miss out. And we know that there's going to be a lot of transformation over the next 10 years. So we're trying to get smarter. We're trying to potentially get folks who are deeper in to the health tech space so that we don't miss out on these great opportunities.
I'm not an investor yet. If it counts mutual funds and indexes, ETFs, but I don't know if that's But what I was hearing as you came here with we've seen the interest rates, it's really a tough climate. Are you as a firm, are you looking for some merging acquisition deals? I mean, is that strategically, you think? Could there be some
it has been a few of the toughest years for healthcare investing, biotech, especially. And so what we look at is our portfolio. And if it's not an easy environment to raise more capital and get new investors to come in, then you have to look at strategic options. So that's where I think a lot more companies are looking to merge. I'll give you an example. In the AI machine learning drug discovery space, you had this big company, Recursion, went IPO with a lot of fanfare. The stock market's kind of battered them down. They ended up merging with companies like Cyclica, like Accenture, where they merge these capabilities, get synergy. So you're seeing a lot more of that where they're realizing that this may be tough for us to go it alone, what are the strategic partners that we can bring on or merge with that might give us a little more critical mass and better positioning in the market.
Makes sense.
You know, after my show, I felt really fortunate I was able to talk with some other VCs. Yeah. It's really fascinating, your mindset, the strategy that goes on to really how to I don't even know. It's like a matrix. I can't even explain can you get in a little more deep on how you look at that and health, like plugging it into this atmosphere?
Yeah, well, layer into that, you know, there's the worlds colliding now. So you see the technologies that touch med tech, biotech. I mean, it's like a little bit of everything, which I would imagine for you doing diligence is harder because it's not just one lane anymore. And you gave a great example of AI and pharma, but we're seeing so much more of this. So as you answer Michael's question.
Yeah, no, Alyssa, you're exactly right. I mean, we're seeing this convergence of a lot of technologies that are going to impact each other, and understanding that dynamic aspect is part of the challenge, right? But also the opportunity. You can see some flanking, right? Where somebody can come with a new technology and really disrupt. And so when you look at the disruptors in the industry, I think it's those that bring that, I'll call it old guard expertise to the table with some of the new tech and understanding those new technologies. So we, you know, but it's not easy to figure it out, right? And you can easily bet wrong by being too early or missing a key component of it. But I think that's why we're here, is that we're realizing that you can't be a healthcare investor without really understanding how tech is influencing and shaping the future of healthcare.
Chris, I love what you're talking about. It lets me realize, like, that little conversation I was having with the super smart people like you, like there's disruptive technologies that are doing things with sensors that were not doing it 5 years ago. And I imagine if you had the revenue model one and trying to thread those or connect those, it's just crazy.
Well, look, I think that people are expecting that we're going to see a decentralization of the way healthcare is captured and delivered, right? Let's take diagnosis, right? I think telemedicine, although it's kind of lost a little bit of ground since COVID, I think the idea of people driving to a building to meet with a bunch of healthcare providers to figure things out. It's a little bit like when we used to go to the mall and we thought, what would we do without malls? We'd have to drive across town to 5 different shops. Thank goodness for malls. And now nobody goes to malls anymore. So
if I have to go, I'm depressed.
So I think the healthcare system is getting a little antiquated and a little bit, you know, it's ripe for disruption, but nobody knows what that future vision looks like yet. And that's what we're all trying to figure out.
I think it's a really good point, because we were just interviewing someone else that was talking a lot about how a lot of things are moving direct to patient. So are you guys investing in technologies that go direct to patient? Does it matter to you? Do they have to be selling to health systems? Or what do you look for? Does it matter?
We do like the consumer health revolution right now. And we do think that there's a lot of purchasing power there. I think there's this balance, though, between the easiest way to get adoption is when you get reimbursement in the healthcare system. You know, everybody's paying insurance. If they don't have to pay out of pocket, you have a bigger pool that can adopt that. But I do think that it's tough because it's not easy to sell into consumers, right? You need to advertise broadly, the advertising budgets, you know, are you getting the right target customer? So I think that, you know, I think people are a little bit waiting on the sidelines to figure out what's the right way to invest in consumer health, but also they're placing smaller bets in the hopes that they can learn more from that. But nobody questions that there is a revolution going on in consumer health. And as investors, we can't just, you know, rush in because you could lose a lot of money that way. But let's be a little bit more discerning, a little bit more, you know, deconstruct exactly what's working, what's not working, and try to learn from that.
So when you think about the founder and the teams that they have, it may behoove some of these more direct-to-patient or direct-to-consumer companies to take somebody out of an industry that's maybe not healthcare, that has expertise in marketing to consumers. Because I do think I've been seeing a lot more of these startups coming, and they're still hiring the same people that are good at selling to hospitals. But being good at selling to hospitals is not the same as selling to me or you. Right.
Totally.
Well, and that's why I think you see, you know, tech players entering the space, the Googles, the Apples, the Amazons, right? Are they going to figure something out? Because they know the consumer very well, right? And so these social network platforms, So even, the social media platforms, they understand our behavior. So that's where I think that convergence between the right tech and the right understanding of consumer behavior, when you marry that could create beautiful music.
I love that. I think that's great.
Well, man, I wish we could have you some more.
This is great.
This is so great. So
appreciate
awesome
the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Suzy,
No, it's
pleasure,
so
Alyssa.
Great to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.